I myself am Cuban. My whole family is immigrants. So you would think, hey, I'm pro-immigrant. He can offend Cubans tomorrow and I wouldn't care, as long as my life is better and my peers are enjoying their life as well.
I don't care if he is in a jail cell. I am one of those people that will vote for him no matter what.
Chris voted Donald Trump, and contrary to most economists, he thinks that tariffs will mean more money in his pocket.
And if we're making more money on tariffs, that means our taxes, American citizens can pay less taxes.
Will it affect your business?
No, it'll help. It'll help a lot.
How will it help?
I think cost of goods will go down.
Currently have 3 months worth of inventory sitting at my factory that I cannot bring to the U.S. I have maybe 2 months worth left in my warehouse in Minnesota, and when that's gone, I have no more revenue. I cannot pay my employees, I cannot pay my bills, I cannot pay the loans which I have leveraged my house against, so we could lose our house.
All of them are starting to say, I never thought that voting for Trump 3 times would result in me losing tens of thousands of dollars. A beekeeper out of North Carolina says, yeah, I proudly voted for Trump all 3 times. I flew flags for him and put signs for him in the yard. But now I'm out tens of thousands of dollars due to lost federal funding and tariffs, so I cannot export my products, my honey and my wax, to other countries like I could before, and nobody's buying it in the United States.
Welcome back, friends, to another Think Out Loud breakdown. And if you're new here, welcome. Grab your coffee and join the table. Around here, we laugh, we learn, and we piece together how MAGA keeps turning life into one long FAFO highlight reel. To my amazing subscribers, you already know, it feels good to be back with the family. Now, let's be real for a second. MAGA doesn't just vote against themselves. Their whole mindset is built on choices that feel powerful in the moment, but backfire in reality. And nowhere is that clearer than when it comes to business. Time and again, MAGA business owners cheered policies they thought would work in their favor, only to watch those same policies sink their bottom line. Tariffs? They swore it would make groceries cheaper. Instead, it drove their costs through the roof. Immigration crackdowns? They clapped like it was a win, and then couldn't find workers to keep their restaurants, shops, or farms running. Even boycotts and culture war stunts backfired, chasing customers away and leaving their stores emptier than a mall on Monday morning. And here's the thing. These aren't just bad breaks. They're the natural result of refusing to think smarter about how business actually works. Loyalty and slogans don't pay the bills. Strategy does. And MAGA keeps proving over and over that they'd rather burn money than admit that simple truth. So today, we're diving into how MAGA loyalty turned into the worst business plan in America, and how the fallout didn't just hit them, but rippled out to hurt the rest of us too. This is FAFO Economics, Small Business Edition. And trust me, you'll want to hear every detail. And since we're talking about MAGA turning bad ideas into even worse business strategies, let's start with one of their favorites, tariffs. You remember, right? The big, beautiful tariffs that were supposed to make America rich, punish China, and somehow put more money in everyone's pocket. In fact, some MAGA folks were so sold on this dream, they actually believed Mr. President when he promised rebate checks from tariff money. Like the whole country was about to get a Costco-sized refund in the mail. Don't take my word for it. Listen to this.
Donald Trump just said we're making so much money that he's thinking about giving us a rebate. In fact, 3 days ago, Josh Hawley introduced the tariff rebate bill. And basically, it looks like we might be getting some money. I think Every single liberal is about ready to fall in love with Donald Trump. I hope you didn't think I forgot about you. So it looks like we're getting $600 rebate checks. Rebates from the tariffs. Yep, you heard it. But first, we're going to probably pay down our debt first, like a good American citizens. And then we're going to get dividend checks. At least if Donald Trump has anything to do with it.
And the checks are coming in 2 weeks, just like everything else. $600. What am I going to do with $600? Oh, I know. I can use it to pay for the money that tariffs are already costing me. Yeah.
To have this kind of thinking, you've probably got to be a little brainwashed by a charismatic leader who says stuff like this.
That China has total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain. He said, Donald Trump, they don't know what to do. Never happened. Well,
and every time he says something like that, I just sit here with my coffee and think, if the brain's really that big, why does the logic feel so small? But hey, folks bought it. They believed those tariffs were magic money machines. Meanwhile, back in the real world, here's what tariffs actually did to businesses.
Kentucky's legendary whiskey business may be in crisis mode. Major distilleries are shutting down and thousands of jobs are at risk as the industry struggles against declining sales, along with changing Gen Z drinking habits and damaging trade disputes. 3 prominent Kentucky distilleries have collapsed into bankruptcy over the past 8 months.
I've never in my life faced a time, and I've been farming since 1993 on my own, where the outlook is so bleak financially.
In a year where crops have been tested by Mother Nature, the toughest test may lie just ahead for farmers. Harvest begins across Arkansas, but for farmers like Cliff Carter, the challenge will happen after.
This is the first time in my life farming that I still have crop in my bins that I can't sell.
Despite a good crop this year, Carter says the prices they get for those crops won't cover expenses. He's not alone. Ag America reported in March the agricultural trade could reach a record trade deficit. Carter says the price for crops has dropped drastically.
Basically, what we're getting out of a bushel of corn or a bushel of rice would be like you making $5 an hour and trying to pay your bills at home. In today's time, we can't do it.
Carter says farmers face challenges from several angles. Earlier this year, tariffs were imposed on U.S. exports. Carter said while businesses can fight tariffs by raising their prices, the reality is not the same for farmers.
We can't do that. Our price, the price is set for us is global market.
He said those tariffs are costing farmers their biggest customers.
Mexico and China are the 2 biggest rice buyers for the United. They buy more rice off of us than anyone. And when they stop buying rice, we have nowhere to go with the rice.
All of them are starting to say, I never thought that voting for Trump 3 times would result in me losing tens of thousands of dollars. A beekeeper out of North Carolina says, yeah, I proudly voted for Trump all 3 times. I flew flags for him and put signs for him in the yard. But now I'm out tens of thousands of dollars due to lost federal funding and tariffs, so I cannot export my products, my honey and my wax, to other countries like I could before, and nobody's buying it in the United States. Hay producers in Idaho and Utah that export alfalfa hay to China are now seeing 135% tariffs put on their product, and all of a sudden, they don't have anywhere to ship it. They held it all winter in hopes of sending it off to China in the spring, and now China's not willing to buy. Soybean producers are once again being hit harder than they were in the first Trump administration, and China, for its part, has diversified where it pulls these products from, with Brazil becoming the #1 soybean exporter, and other countries picking up the slack for honey, for beeswax, and for hay around the world. Now, China's doing a great job diversifying.
Tariffs didn't make America rich. They made American businesses bleed cash. Importers paid higher prices for materials, retailers passed those costs down to customers, and small business owners got caught in the squeeze. The same folks who thought they were voting for cheaper groceries and booming profits ended up with higher bills, thinning margins, and a whole lot of unsold inventory. And the irony is, tariffs are basically just a tax, but not on China. They're a tax on Americans. So while Trump was out there flexing about how respected his brain was, business owners back home were realizing the only thing getting respect was their bankruptcy paperwork.
What this tariff stuff has taught me is you don't actually have to be that smart to own a business in the United States. Because what the fuck did you mean you didn't know the tariffs would affect you? You import materials from outside of the country, or your machinery you use to manufacture the products here are made abroad.
Now, if tariffs were the tax that emptied MAGA wallets, here's the other half of the story. The way many business owners managed to sabotage themselves for free. They didn't even need tariffs. All they needed was a megaphone, a MAGA hat, and a steady stream of political hot takes that sent their own customers running for the exits.
So our Airbnb guest got here and canceled within 5 minutes and just left because she saw this.
I don't really understand why you're acting confused on why she left. You don't think she felt a little bit unsafe maybe staying at an Airbnb with a Trump sign displayed? That would make me feel unsafe. A Trump sign is not just about a political preference, it's more like a hostile symbol representing misogyny, homophobia, racism. And having that sign displayed at your Airbnb is basically saying, hey there, I support a man who brags about assaulting women and encouraging violence. And so when a woman books an Airbnb and sees that, especially if she's alone, she's not thinking about politics. She's thinking if she'll be safe if something goes wrong. Does the host believe in consent? Or if I have the right to make my own choices about my own body medically? And if the person doesn't believe in any of those things, how could they possibly be a safe host? And if it was any person of color or a member of the LGBTQ community, a Trump sign is basically saying you're not welcome here. So showing that you are loudly aligning yourself with a man that has mocked and threatened and literally raped women naturally would make someone afraid or nervous about staying there. And it's not really hard to understand that you're just not a safe space. And by the way, what is with the sign anyway? The election is long over. It's weird.
I'm going to sit down and I'm going to hold my hand. No, I'm not when I say this. If you have an Airbnb and you have a Trump Vance sign up, just know that some black people, some brown people, some white people, some people that love education, some people that don't like to be touched inappropriately are not going to want to stay at your Airbnb. Heaven Gate Farms or Far From Heaven Farms or whatever it was, like it's going to be a no for most of us. As a matter of fact, ma'am, if you are the one who booked this Airbnb, please make sure you do your review. Because I think a majority of us are not going to want to stay there. I, for one, am going to vote no. I am okay. I don't even want to look at your Heaven's Gate Farms, Far From Heaven Farms. I can't even remember what it is. I don't want to be there. It's a no for me. This administration doesn't like brown people, doesn't like black people, doesn't like people who are some white, some of them with disabilities, older people, people with education, none of them. Why would we want to be there? It's a no. But ma'am, please post your review, because if she takes the sign down, I still don't want to stay.
Meet Roland. Roland is an immigrant from Lebanon who came to the United States in 2019 and thought to himself, you know what this country really needs? A burger joint dedicated to Donald J. Trump. So he opened up Trump Burgers in Texas. Where else? With Trump flags everywhere and Trump branded buns and MAGA merch. It was basically QAnon themed in and out. And he actually did pretty good for himself. He was even opening up new locations as recently as 2024. Fast forward to 2025 and I shows up. Not to thank him for his support. They basically knocked on the door and said, hey, Roland, get in the fucking van. You see, he thought he was safe because he's a permanent resident, but they revoked his green card. Now he's facing deportation under the same exact Trump policies that he was out here celebrating not that long ago with a side of fries. Poor Roland really thought that he was one of the good ones. And I don't know when these pro-MAGA immigrants are going to get it. Trump's immigration policy is not going to skip you because you put his fucking face on a combo meal. He literally ran on mass deportations. He called immigrants animals. He said they're poisoning the blood of America. They're invading. This is what he said about you. But maybe Roland thought, he's not talking about me. I did it the right way. I imagine that right about now, Roland is finding out that it was never about doing it the right way. It was never about legal or illegal immigration. And it's always been about maintaining that white majority. You know what makes it worse is that Roland's landlord took over one of his Trump burger locations and named it MAGA Burgers USA. He's getting deported and gentrified all at the same time. Poor Roland was out here fucking around, serving Trump combos, and they thanked him by serving him the find out burger with cheese.
So the CEO of Uber just sat down with Trump and said, I fully support your big, beautiful bill. And all of our drivers do too, because there'll be no tax on tips. While taking away health care for millions of people. Well, you remember what happened with Target and Walmart and all the other ones. I suggest you download the Lyft app. Matter of fact, I'll tell you truthfully. Lyft's better, cheaper, and on time. And they don't usually raise the rates on the weekend to make it harder for you.
And there it is. Customers lining up to say, no thanks, I'll spend my money somewhere else. And honestly, can you blame them? In business, perception is everything. When you slap your political flag all over the storefront, you're not just selling burgers or boots anymore. You're selling an agenda. And people vote with their wallets. That's what a lot of MAGA business owners never understood. They thought politics would rally more support. Instead, it cut their customer base in half. Because here's the truth. Most folks don't want a side of campaign speech with their coffee. They just want good service and fair prices. And here's the wildest twist. Some of the loudest MAGA businesses still got burned. Remember the guy who launched MAGA Burgers? Decked his whole brand out in Trump red, white, and blue? Even he wasn't immune. Despite the loyalty, despite making his entire business a shrine to Trump, he still faced deportation. Imagine that. You build a restaurant around the man's name, and the policies you cheered for end up kicking you out of the country. So when business owners turned their shops into soapboxes, they created the perfect recipe for FAFO. Loyal customers drifted away. New ones never walked in. And even the diehards found out their devotion didn't buy them any protection. Suddenly those political values didn't feel so profitable anymore.
I was a Trump supporter. I don't know how long I can keep doing this.
You should have stopped years ago, but continue.
I have a construction company, and not a fucking thing is getting done.
So here we are, in the midst of the consequences of our own actions. Got it. Continue.
This is what I get.
Yes.
This is what I fucking get. Nothing but white boys. Takes 4 days to do a one-day job. I might have fucked up.
You might have fucked up? No, you 100% fucked up. But the sad thing is, the sad and horrible thing is that you only think you fucked up because it's directly affecting you. You don't care about the millions of other people that it's affecting in the United States. This is 100% what you get when you ignore that he's a felon. When you ignore when he said, grab her by the you-know-what. When you ignore that he is liable for sexual assault. When you ignore that he has done scams and he says racist, horrible, homophobic things. This is what you get. Because the racism was there in his language all the time. You could hear him speak his racism every single day, and you chose to ignore it. So yeah, this is what you have to deal with. And it doesn't matter which race we're talking about. Donald Trump only wants white people in this country, and you ignored that. So yeah, you're dealing with it.
There's a Trumper in Tampa who owns a construction company called Honest Hammer, and he is all upset because his workforce is being deported. Now, he makes the claim, like a lot of Trumpers who actually get affected by this make, and that is, that's not what I voted for. This is not what I voted for. I voted to get out the criminals. No, this is exactly what you voted for, and now you're feeling regrets because you are personally being affected. You did not care who got wrapped up in a mass deportation. That's exactly what they told you at the RNC. Mass deportation. That's exactly what Donald Trump said over and over again was deport these people. He lumped them all together. There was never a bucket of criminals and everyone else. It was always an everyone else is a criminal. That's what it was, to brand every immigrant, legal or illegal, as a criminal. He did not care how hardworking these people were or how much they contributed to society, and neither did you, Honest Hammer. All you cared about was that these people got deported, and as long as you and your staff were safe, because you thought maybe you could wield some influence as a white man, that you would be safe, well, guess what? You're not. And you are going to suffer the consequences of that. That's an FAFO, my friend. And it always takes until you get affected for you to understand the ramifications of your vote. So don't tell us that that's not what you voted for. That's exactly what you voted for. You just didn't think the consequences were going to come for you. So fuck around and find out.
So I just saw a video of a farmer in Florida who states that Donald Trump is the best president in his lifetime and that he supports Ron DeSantis 100%, but he's begging these migrant workers, these undocumented workers, to not leave because he's going bankrupt. All these farmers are going bankrupt. All these contractors are going bankrupt because everybody's left. Because this law that they just passed makes it illegal. Like if I'm working with someone who's undocumented and I'm giving them a ride home and get pulled over, I can get arrested. Not just can they get sent back, they can arrest me. And then the farmers are trying to say, oh, it's been misread and it's been lied to in the press and don't believe it. They're panicking big time. They have fucked around and they are in the find out stage. And I just think it is it's beautiful. It's delicious. It's just chef's kiss. Just seeing how this farmer panic and seeing him trying to talk to he'd say something and then the interpreter would repeat it, and the things this guy was saying are not the kind of things that are going to keep undocumented workers here. There's plenty of work for them wherever they want to go. There are a lot of jobs that Americans don't want to do that undocumented workers can get. And there are a lot of places where they're appreciated instead of persecuted. So I just think it's hilarious that they're finding out now that there's going to be some serious consequences to this. And wait till you find out what tomatoes are going to cost in 6 months. R.T. Gargiulo has a huge tomato. Most of the tomatoes in the United States are grown in Southwest Florida. And they have a huge tomato operation there. And they don't have any workers. And it's going to be bad. There's literally strawberries and things like that rotting on the vine or on the plant. They can't get anyone to come and work. They got what's coming to them, and I just think it's beautiful. I hope it bankrupts them. I hope it bankrupts every goddamn one of them. Every single right-wing rich guy that supported all this hateful stuff, supported all this anti-trans stuff in this fight with Disney. I'm just loving this. And I'm loving, it's going to be great because in about 6 months, this is really going to hit. And that's just when Ron DeSantis is going to be really trying to hit the campaign trail. Enjoy your finding out, Ron. You're going to find out.
When the Trump administration cranked up deportations, the labor pool dried up almost overnight. Suddenly, restaurants couldn't find cooks, farms couldn't find pickers, contractors couldn't find crews, and MAGA business owners, the same ones cheering the loudest at rallies, were now standing around asking, wait, where'd all the workers go? The truth is, they thought deportations would make life better, safer, more profitable. Instead, they voted away the very workforce that kept their businesses alive. That's not strategy. That's FAFO economics in real time.
Who's working with Donald Trump right now, behind the scenes?
Mostly God. That's what I think.
You think Donald Trump is talking to God, and when he enacts something, an executive order or something, it's because God actually told him?
I don't know about that, but I believe he's getting his instructions from God.
You haven't got a choice. It is President Trump and President Trump only. He's strong enough. Who could have put up with what he did the last 4 years? Nobody. It's almost like he's not even altogether human, as if God has got him by the shoulders and saying, world, this is the man that will save you. He will save us.
And here's the last piece of the puzzle. When things fall apart, MAGA supporters don't look in the mirror. They retreat to prayer circles because in their minds, Trump isn't just a politician, he's chosen. Criticize him, call out the obvious flaws, and suddenly you're the enemy. They'll even pray for your silence.
Caroline Levitt here with your Mega Minute. I'm here by popular demand to talk you through my press room briefing prayer. A lot of you were super excited to hear that we do a prayer before we go out and speak truth to power, speak truth to the fake news, and to make sure that we're keeping the word of President Trump at the highest form. So when I go to bed at night, I definitely pray by holding a Project 2025 book close to my heart, because that does have the Heritage Foundation. And what is Heritage Foundation if not to keep tradition alive in America? And the tradition is going to be to keep President Trump at #1. So President Trump is the chosen one. He is the one that is going to guide us into this new era of golden opportunities, of wealth, of health, and of the Lord, where women will be able to be women, men will be able to be men, because there's only 2 genders, and we can keep all those trans people that don't even exist out of schools. And this is something that I include in every prayer. Okay, and in every prayer I say, please let me speak truth to power, especially to Caitlin in the Washington Post. You know, I just make sure that I have all of those included in my prayer every single night. And so I hope that helped you, and maybe you can include some of those beautiful thoughts and prayers into your evening this lovely night. So thank you so much. I'm Caroline Levitt, and this has been your MAGA Minute.
Of the top 10 states with the worst firearm violence, 8 of them are Republican states. 8 out of 10. And if you look at a state like Hawaii, where you can't easily pick up a firearm and bring it there, they have strict firearm regulation and some of the lowest firearm violence in the United States. Firearm regulation works.
Guns are banned in Congress, guns are banned on Trump properties, guns are banned at NRA conventions, guns are banned at CPAC. When their safety is on the line, no guns. When it's your safety, thoughts and prayers.
Sometimes I wonder if even God looks down and shakes his head at the things people drag his name into. There are problems in this country that don't need another prayer circle. They need the right policies. Take firearms, for example. Just the other day, kids were unalived while praying in a church. And instead of addressing the issue with real solutions, the answer we got was the same old line: thoughts and prayers. Now, don't get me wrong. Nobody here is saying not to believe in God. What I'm saying is this: stop using God as a cover for decisions fueled by hate. Decisions he had nothing to do with in the first place. Because at the end of the day, faith isn't a substitute for wisdom. And business, like life, runs better when we mix compassion with common sense.
All our thoughts and prayers are with the people in Colorado.
His thoughts and prayers are with them.
Our deepest thoughts and prayers.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims and their families.
My thoughts and my prayers.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the victims.
The thoughts and prayers.
They need our thoughts, our prayers.
Extend our thoughts and prayers.
This is not the first time. Our thoughts and prayers.
The people of Orlando, they're in our thoughts and prayers. We hope you'll set your DVR so you never miss an episode.
Our thoughts and prayers today are with the victims and survivors in Las Vegas.
Our thoughts and prayers.
That makes a difference. Thoughts and prayers make a difference.
Our thoughts and prayers are with the people of Virginia Beach.
Prayers. Our thoughts go out in El Paso and Dayton.
Our thoughts and prayers should obviously be with the 10 victims. And
What can Congress do? I mean, certainly our thoughts and prayers. Whoopi Goldberg, who's saying she's going to punch someone in the face if she hears another Republican offer thoughts and prayers. Really, Whoopi?
I am so unbelievably sick of thoughts and prayers. And this is not an attack on religious people at all, but what happened today happened to children who were praying to God. When we have such a clear, material, legislative way to fix this problem, and yes, it is clear, it is not ambiguous, it is not hard to understand why this is happening. The idea that we ignore that and say something that honestly at this point just feels like a complete and total slap in the face It baffles me. What is the common denominator? I'll give you a couple of hints. It is not the security of the school. It is not the amount of doors like Ted Cruz tried to imply. It is not mental health. The United States is by no means the only place where people have mental health issues. It is the only place where this happens this fucking frequently, and the only place that constitutionally guarantees guns to its citizens. Do you really think that if guns were banned, that these would happen as frequently? A bad guy's still gonna get a gun, okay. And a murderer is still gonna murder. We still make murder illegal. Bad people do bad shit, yeah. We're all aware of that. But we know how to greatly reduce the rate at which this happens. And we don't do anything except for say this.
And I'll wrap it up with these last two clips. My personal favorite is the final one from @Griffin. What an incredible breakdown. It's been a pleasure having you with me all the way through. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. If you enjoyed this video or got something out of it, don't forget to like, drop a comment, and share it with someone who'd love a good FAFO story. I'm Glenn. This is Think Out Loud, and I'll see you in the next one.